Initial takeaways from today's practice.
I thought the leadership was really good. We've got guys at all three levels of our defense who I think are really stepping up and taking on more of a player-led approach, and they've been great in the meeting rooms, and they've applied it to out here, and you can see the communication's ramped up. The pre-snap talking is getting a lot better. Their eyes are getting better pre-snap and post-snap, and I think it's all because of that pre-snap communication, which comes from oftentimes really good leadership.
I was going to ask also, how have the installs been working so far in camp? And I heard you don't have everything installed yet.
Yeah, we still got some stuff in. Our whole philosophy on defense is to try and get as much in as we can, as fast as we can. You don't want to throw everything in, but you want to see, essentially how fast these kids can learn. If they're not getting a hold of the defense as fast, about 2 weeks in, we can slow down a little bit. But we want to see how fast these guys and how much these guys can learn. So we've thrown a lot at them. They've done a great job. The offense has done a great job, giving us a lot of different looks, different personnel groupings. And overall, I know that our whole staff on defense and myself are really pleased with how the guys have done so far.
Any specific players standing out so far on defense? Players, I guess?
I think that the whole unit is doing a really good job. We have the approach on defense is we is greater than me. I think every position group has a couple guys or two. They're doing a really good job with those leadership roles. I don't want to pinpoint everybody because I think the whole defense is doing a great job.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How do you think the defense has been improving throughout camp as well?
I think they've done a great job. Obviously, you don't ever want to see if a mistake's made, you don't ever want to see it made twice. And I think the guys have done a great job learning in the meeting rooms and applying what they've learned to the walkthroughs as well as the practices the next day. And you're seeing if a mistake's made, you're not seeing that mistake made twice by anybody, which is oftentimes a great job. It shows the kids are doing a great job in the meetings, they care, and there's definitely progress being made.
From the stands, when I'm watching, I see a lot of exotic pressures and fast-paced defense. How would you define your defense?
Simple.
Simple.
These guys have done a great job. Obviously on defense, our motto is FPA, fast, physical, and aggressive. And we want to be a kind of defense that attacks, and we want to never make the quarterback comfortable. We never want to make the O-line comfortable. And I think if we attack those two position groups with every team we play, we're going to be successful.
Just to get on the linebackers a little bit, I know you're also the linebackers coach. Who's starting at linebacker, and are there any players that have been radically improving?
Let's just say there's multiple players that are starting at linebacker right now. I don't want to pinpoint anybody. We have great leadership from multiple guys. Isaiah King, obviously, is an all-conference type player who's coming back. Dylan Lane's doing a great job. He's one of the smartest players I've ever coached in my 13 years of coaching. And then we've got a lot of young guys that are stepping up. We've got freshmen. They're doing a really good job. We've got, redshirt freshmen. They're doing a great job. We've got sophomores. I think the whole group as a whole is doing a really good job applying everything they're learning in the meetings to the field.
I think my last question is, you seem very animated on the field, which brings energy. As Zach Crutcher said, that you're a guy that keeps it real, but also at the same time, if they need to be loved up, you love them up.
Yep.
Who are your biggest inspirations as coaches, and what do you think defined you as this kind of coach?
The guy who got me into coaching was Nick Holt. He's a former head coach here, defense coordinator at USC, defense coordinator for me at Washington, and he was always a coach I really respected. Him and Mike Cox, Jake Cox, our tight end, his dad was my position coach in college. Those two guys, Nick Holt and Mike Cox, really were the two guys in my life as a player who I really looked up to as a coach because they always kept it real, and there was always a difference. There's coaches who oftentimes keep it real and are great players, coaches, but sometimes don't develop you on the field, and then there's players who develop you on the field but don't have a relationship with you off the field. I try and be a combination of both. I'm going to keep it real on the field. I'm going to be intense. I'm going to confront demand, but at the same time, I'm going to level them up, and anytime they do things right, I'm going to pinpoint it to everybody on the defense. So that's how it's a real, authentic relationship. That's how you get kids to buy in, and I think the defense as a whole has really gravitated towards that kind of personality.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.